Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meal. I have some bananas that have gotten a little ripe, so I'm going to make a banana bread, and I've got some dates, so I'm going to make it a kind of a healthy, if there's such a thing as a healthy banana bread. It's going to have whole wheat, some oats in it. I'm going to just use up a bunch of stuff. First thing I'm going to do is take my bananas and see they're nice and ripe, and mix them up a little bit. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, so it's ready. Or will be by the time I finish this. Now these are really nice and ripe, so we're in good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whisk and beat these up, mixed up a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to put those to the side for just a second. Now I've got some dates. I'm going to dump them in to the flour, and I'm going to get them coated with flour. I don't know if this really works. I've never tested it, but every recipe that I've ever seen that has fruit like this, they always tell you to dip it in flour to keep it from sinking to the bottom. I've watched a couple things at other people doing it, and they tested it, and they have not seen any difference. But I want to try and follow the recipe for a change, within reason anyway. So I'm just going to throw it in and get a little flour on the dates. Not going to be that much, and it'll come back in when we put the dates back in, so it'll be fine. Okay. Get the last few pieces of dates out of here. All right. Now I'm going to mix these ingredients together. I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to mix those up a little bit while I got that in there. And I'm going to throw in my whole wheat flour. Stir that up a little bit. I'm making a mess of this as usual. I'm going to throw in my sugar. And my oats. Now I'm going to add about 9 tablespoons of butter that I've melted. Probably should have already changed to a spatula, but I'm going to go ahead and try and mix this up a little bit like with this to get this mixed in well. You could certainly use a beater for this. It would be ideal. It's coming together fine. Now, I'll put in 2 eggs. And we'll mix them in really well. And I'm going to put just a little bit of milk in it, just a dab. Actually, I think I'm going to put just a little bit of buttermilk, mostly for flavor. make it a little richer tasting. Just a dab, a couple tablespoons maybe. 1, 2. That'll give it a little more fat, which ought to help the flavor, and the sourness of the buttermilk ought to work well with the baking soda to help it rise. We'll see if that actually works. Okay, so we've got that mixed together pretty well. Okay, now the last thing we're going to put in is the dates. So that'll get that flour that we lost back in to this mixture. It's coming together really well. All right, now I prepared a pan for it, a 9x5 baking dish, and I sprayed it with a little oil and put a little parchment paper in it. And I'm going to pour this into here. Get the last of that in there. Don't want to waste any of it. And there we have a nice mixture. I'm going to shake it a couple of times to get any bubbles out of it, if there are any. And then I'm going to put it in the oven for probably close to an hour, but I'm going to check it at 45 minutes, see how it's doing. But it usually takes something like that, 45 minutes to an hour to cook, depending on your oven. It's a pretty moist mixture, a pretty wet mixture, and that'll affect the cooking time. It'll be ready when you can stick a fork in the middle or knife in the middle and it comes out clean, or a toothpick or whatever you like to use. So we're gonna let it cook and we'll be back. Okay, this is the banana date loaf after right at 60 minutes. It finally is the right temperature and it is clean when you stick a knife in the center. Actually, I think I stuck a toothpick in to test it, not a knife. But it is clean when you poke the toothpick in and pull it out. So I'm gonna let this cool and then I'll cut it and we'll take a look at it. Okay, let's cut a piece, see what it looks like. Okay, it's got a really nice crumb to it. Looks fine. It looks like the pieces of dates are in there. Let's taste it and see how it tastes. Well, it's moist. A lot of flavor. That's a good banana bread. Well, if you get a chance to try it, I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.